Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello and welcome to the stream. We're gonna hop right back into the 2K course that we're working on at the moment. I haven't done an episode of these or of this one in a little bit, so I figured now's a good time to do it. Let me make sure my phone. There we go. I have my stream up on the phone so I can see chat and stuff. So it wasn't updating, so we got that fixed. All right, and we can kick off some music here as well. Let me make sure the volume's good. All right, think that's good. Go. Yeah, looks good to me. All right, onward. I've done maybe a little bit of tidying up since the last stream. I think I fiddled around with number 4 just a little bit. I think I had laid the surfaces in, I just don't think I had bunkered it, so I tossed a couple bunkers in. It's been long enough since I've worked on this on stream, I don't remember what I was working on, so we'll show off what we've got so far. That's right, I don't have my controller plugged in. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't playtest it right now. But one's unchanged. I think I might have tidied up 2, 3, and 4 just a little bit. They're not done yet, but they're a little closer. Maybe I can work on 3 and 4 a little bit, and then we can. Actually, let's do 5. We need to. I want to go ahead and redo this one. That's a good thing to start off with on this stream. I gotta go get rid of all the fairway shapes I have in here. Oh, I might have nicked one of the trees, but oh well. We'll get rid of these guys. Should be it. This is a weird song. Oh well. Alright, now how much of a runoff do I want on this one? I guess I probably don't need. Oh, I don't know if I really need any on this one. But we'll see. It's a short hole, and it's relatively easy. We don't need too crazy of a landing area. Now, I could put a bunker in here, possibly, or I could make that fairway runoff. I'm not sure on that one yet. Regardless, I know my fairway will go up around here. I don't need to wrap it around that tree anymore because the whole concept's changed a little bit. Hey Ben, what's up? You caught? Yeah, it's very late for you. I'm surprised you're here. And hello, Matt. It's got to be what midnight or so over there, somewhere around there. All right. Well, I'm getting some kind of weird lag. Okay, that's not terrible. Is that a mouse thing or is that a computer thing? Not sure. We'll figure it out. If the lag continues, we can always pause the stream. Hey Tom, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Well, it's perfect then. We'll lull you to sleep pretty quick. We'll have to see. I might have to chat with you later about how best to plant this thing. I have ideas, but I don't have anything I've fallen in love with yet either. Maybe we run it around this way. We can do the best of both worlds. Have a little bit of runoff and have a little bit of throw a bunker back there as well. I think it was 4.2 was the secondary width on that. Yep. Hole 5 was done in the original, like the jungle version of this one, but I haven't gone and redone it yet, so. There's only a couple holes that are done. Not 12 hours off Dream Team. We published that Tuesday night. So I didn't touch the game yesterday, and I thought I was gonna have plans this evening, and those fell through. So I have time. I just figured that I might as well just tinker with this for a bit. Fair enough. Howdy, Alan. How's it going? All right, let's do. I could probably combine these into one bunker. Wondering if my battery is in the mouse is starting to die a little bit. It's usually what's happening when I start getting like input lag with the mouse. It's usually just the battery starting to fade. Yeah, I was debating taking a stretch of time off, but I will certainly not be designing at the same clip that I was, but I also just figured that it doesn't hurt to get a head start on this either. You know, and I don't mind designing if there's a difference between designing with a deadline and just designing because you feel like it. I will not be doing any deadline designing for a while. Although I guess technically this is a deadline thing because it needs to be done kind of middle of January. I believe is the tentative due date for this. But you know, I don't need to work too hard on it tonight. I'm just gonna get a little bit done on it. Plus, I at least have whole concepts through like 14. So, actually, and then 17 is sort of done. So these will be quicker to get up to speed, and then it's just planting and stuff. Yeah, I mean that happens to everybody. Burnout is definitely a real thing, and you don't wanna push it too much. Probably why I'm thinking of I don't know. I keep waffling on whether or not I want to sit at a World Cup this year. It would probably be a good idea, but then you know nobody signs up for it, and that's kind of making me itch to hop in again. But then, you know, I think I've got one more 2K project left after this one. And, you know, I figure if I do another, or this one, and then another contest, and another 2K course all back to back, then, you know, burnout would be real at that point. Lynx is tough. Yeah, I'm starting to, let me double check. Either these aren't sitting in correctly, or they're just dying on me. Alright, let me check these batteries quickly. Come on. There we go. Worst case, actually, if they're just kind of starting to go, I'll just swap them. I usually buy some time. If that's the problem, then that should solve it for a while. There we go. Now let's just sink that pan in a little bit. Kind of make it a little more dramatic. A little flat. Not terribly flat, but we can, you know, we could sink that in just a little bit. There we go. I think that looks better. All right, perfect. Second design on console, and you're thinking, tell you why we need a new PC for the house. Hey, Prater, how's it going? Hey, I mean, design's addicting, I get it. Alright, let's see. We want another bunker in here, probably. That's just a question of what shape. Something... I don't know, I could pinch it in the middle a little bit. Narrow that down. Quite possible, that would work. We'll raise that back part a little bit, and that should do it. Maybe a little bit more. Hey Saucy, how's it going? With small rural links, they aren't really wide open. Yeah, I think that's the key to doing a links course in this game is, like, in order to make it look right, there's just so much little, like, planting stuff you have to do in order to kind of avoid it looking just empty, and it really just comes down to having a tightly routed plot, and not, like, the more sprawling it is, the more difficult it is to do something with a links course. Whereas, you know, if the actual playing surfaces take up a lot of your plot, then it works so much better. Yeah, again, it happens to all of us. Sprawling courses are always more difficult than tightly routed ones. I mean, you can get a sense of scale out of them. There are some advantages to building a sprawling course, but like as a rule of thumb, it's usually I need a great reason in order for me to do one of those. Normally, it's the like a tightly routed course is a great shortcut to like an efficient, easy course to do. But this one's gonna be a little on the sprawling side. There's just all the, although I did fill it with water, so there's not a ton of planting or anything that needs to go on in the middle of it, and it's not gonna look empty. that works for 5. This almost sounds like a Christmas song. Not, sort of. Not quite. Add our secondary cut. I don't know. I don't think we need a fairway runoff at all. Could maybe do one to the left. Not sure. Yeah, that's always a fun challenge to do, is that 1,000 square yard plot. Alright, do I want to keep these trees or not? The answer is probably... I don't need to... Like, those are a remnant from the old plot, but actually I guess I have to get rid of this one, or at least move it. Oh, that's right, I can't change the height with advanced edit, so we'll just get rid of that one. Some of the trees from the old version of this, can carry over, but the whole planting scheme's different. So, it's just a different look. So some of them are gonna have to go, but I can get a little cheeky and keep some of them. There's a couple trees in here I think that, in moderation, work in both of the themes that we were going for. Bits of real panther in it, exactly. Yes. Let's see. We want a little short one here. I'm gonna have to come up with a new name for it at some point. The name doesn't make sense anymore. Alright, so we got that about sorted. I just gotta figure out the green here. Oh, and we still have some heavy rough brushes I can get rid of. Can sprinkle one more bunker in there. Let's see. I don't think we need anything inside, or on the inside of the dog leg. I think outside is all we're gonna really manage on this one. I have to redo some of this sculpting, I think. Yeah. If I want a bunker on the inside, that's gonna be this whole spot's gonna be a mess. So we're gonna drop this down a bit, just kind of lessen the severity of that slope just a little bit, so that I can drop the land a touch. It just frees up a little bit of space for me to incorporate some, or to expand the green area a little bit. We can bump that up slightly. I think that as well. And then drop the pan down a little bit. Yeah, I am really... I don't know, maybe we, might have to go grab new batteries for this mouse. Now's not a great time to have technical issues, but oh well. Stuff happens. Because it's just mouse inputs I'm having issues with. And only intermittently, which is, you know, the most annoying, you know, way for something to not work is only sometimes. This controller is sponsored by Reynolds Wrap, exactly. Yeah, I think the batteries are just going, so I think I have a fair number of spares floating around, so we can go grab some of those quickly so we are not randomly having our mouse stop working during the stream. Yeah, I think that works for our greenside bunker. I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, we're back. I mean, me swapping out batteries on stream probably isn't the most exciting content, but on the flip side, I'm not sure this is not gonna be like the most wildly entertaining stream anyways. Hey, I am glad that you guys all want to hang out while I design, you know, chit-chat and follow along, but you know, it's I guess the constant problem of being a design streamer is design is inherently not all that exciting or interesting. Well, interesting is the wrong word. It's not exciting. It can be interesting, but it's always a little slow. So you have to kind of... The subject matter is not going to ever really be that engaging necessarily, so you always have to kind of fill airtime with stuff. And if you're just not in the best, you know, mood or headspace to be entertaining, it's, you know, you can have kind of dull off streams. Exactly, Shot. That's kind of the point I'm making of... I have some days where I can be entertaining and just like ramble about some random topic while I design, but this one I want to swap. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want to swap the surface. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna... I know I want some heavy rough outline, or around the playing surfaces here. Kind of... We want to go a little rugged off course, or at least off, like... I think some of the stuff internal to the property can be a little more lush, kind of like garden planting. But the stuff on the outskirts we can go ahead and kind of leave sort of rugged, which means that we'll want like a little bit of heavy rough around the outsides of you know, our holes, so that we have a nice edge for whoops, we don't want that. Want to leave that rock face alone, but So all we gotta do is just do a spline around the outside edges of our playing surfaces that we intend, then just fill it in, and then we have nice edges where the off-course stuff meets the playing surfaces, and get a nice transition there. Well, that's a bummer. Maybe I do want to... This green's a little small. I mean, I don't mind the fact that it's a small green, but I don't know how small's too small. I could expand it slightly and expand it to the left so that... That's probably not a bad idea. And then expand our runoff area just a little bit. And that just fills that spot in nicely, so it doesn't there isn't just that empty spot there anymore. So we'll do some spline tweaks here. There's some funky songs in this playlist, but hey, they're free and copyright free, which is nice. So we will we'll deal with it. Hot Lucy, that I like that. That's just Ben's course name now. It's Hot Lucy. All right. I think we might have already finished this one up, minus tee boxes and stuff. Little detail work, because I like the way this one's come out. It kind of retains all of the what do you want to call it? The general concept of the original hole design, but I think just the cleaner look fits this course a lot better. It really tidied up a lot of spots that I wasn't sure what to do with. This one almost doesn't need any work at all other than planting. Like, this one's pretty much perfect for this course already. So then what do I want to do next? I suppose I do some green work on the first couple holes, throw in some like tee boxes and stuff. So I'm not sure how much kind of polishing work I want to do yet. Yeah, I probably don't need to do too much on the greens just yet. Again, for the same reason of, you know, if I'm going to be doing a significant amount of idea changing or like big sculpting moves, stuff like that, I probably want to hold off on doing little detail sculpting parts. Like green contours are just generally something that I like to finish up last. We'll give a playthrough of what we have so far. I guess I can get some like general tee locations and stuff figured out. Yeah, first one's just kind of yep, no worries, Ben. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Alright, it's been a while since I've opened with a par 5 on a course. You always want, like, I guess not always, but generally you want an easier hole to start out with. And I've just been leaning more toward kind of short 4s, but a gettable 5 is not a bad way to start off a course either. Suppose you could do like a 3-shot 5 as well. That works fine. Because at least with a gettable, like the thing with a gettable 5 is, you know, you're obviously starting on a good note with like a big birdie opportunity, but you know, there's a little bit of that pressure to get an eagle on the first hole. Yeah, either's fine. I like the way this one's turned out so far, and this one doesn't need, like, the green's already there, so I don't need a ton of green sculpting. Like 1 and 2, I think the greens are mostly done. I have tee boxes and things already, so outside of finishing planting once we have a much clearer idea of what I need for it, that one's pretty much done. Then 3 is a great whole concept, but I'm not totally... It needs a little bit of tweaking, and I'm just not sure what exactly it needs. I need to go put tee boxes on this one. I could do that. Although I don't want to do too much of that on stream. That's kind of busy work that we can do off stream. Unless I'm going start to finish and getting whole concepts done. Like, I don't need to go around and do loads of tee boxes. That we can keep some of the busy work off stream. But other than that, I want to try and get in as much, or do as much of this on stream as I can. Now 4, I think most of this was here. I redid the bunker by the green and added 2, admittedly, like, they don't really come into play on most shots unless I, maybe for the front tees, if you really belt one, you can poke it out to those middle bunkers. I will be the first to admit they're just kind of there for visuals. Like, I know I kind of rely on framing bunkers and whatnot as a crutch, but I figured this kind of course concept is definitely going to be a very artsy one. So I'm all in on framing bunkers and whatnot. I had, like, the last one I did for Dream Team where we were going more Golden Age. I was trying to be a lot more subtle with the bunkers and, you know, like in terms of presentation and size, shape, the amount of them, that sort of stuff. So we're just going the complete opposite on this one of like full Fazio where it's just bunkers galore wherever they look nice. Fazio didn't design the Reeve, what's up? It's been a while. How are you? There we go. There's a shot. Let's see. What was he saying? Oh, yeah. So just lots of framing bunkers, all of that sort of stuff. You know, we're going the complete opposite of the last one, of just dialing it up to 11 visually. That's why I probably need to rework this green a little bit. I don't think it needs much in terms of, like, at least visuals, it looks great. Yeah, sorry, man. Yep, have a good one, Alan. Thank you for tuning in. This is another one. I don't think this one needs a lot of work. Obviously, I'll have to replant it. I'm just glad that a significant amount of the work I did on the older version of this is translating over okay to the new concept. Yeah, and that's what I went with on the Dream Team one, of bunkers only where they make sense from a playing perspective, of trying to avoid my usual crutch of you know, using bunkers mostly as a framing device. That was the kind of the jungle course, but I was just getting stuck on it, and Energizer's doing the other course for that for this month's theme, and he's going into he's doing a very similar jungle style course. So I was already feeling stuck, and I wanted to do something a little different from one that was already being done for that theme. So, yeah, I'm not trying to slam on Fazio as like a concept. Like, obviously, he's parts of, like, his reputation are earned, but like he's a solid designer. It's just, some of his stuff is going to be great and some of his stuff is going to be dicey. I don't know. I kind of put him in that same category of like Arthur Hills, of somebody who gets a really bad rap for some of the bad stuff that he's made in his career, but like there's plenty of hits in there as well that are up there with some of the best stuff that you can play. It's just not consistent at that level of quality. Because I don't think I've played any Fazio courses personally, but I've played a number of Arthur Hills courses. And, like, I think I would rank him, I would give him both my favorite and least favorite courses in the area are all his. So, it just a wild contrast in quality. Or when it goes right, it's great. When it goes bad, it's bad. So, I think Fazio kind of goes the same way, of does some great stuff, does some terrible stuff, and you just, it's trying to focus on the good stuff or not falling into the traps that make something bad. I don't know, I haven't found like Arthur Hill courses, at least the subset that I have played, to be terribly difficult. But he does really, like, every Arthur Hills course I've played has at least one whole concept that just makes no sense. And some of them are, 15 whole concepts that don't make any sense. But those tend to be like the housing development projects, where it's just the golf course has no business existing and it only exists to sell real estate. Yeah, some of them are definitely that way, and but again, they tend to be stuff where it's a housing development and he just has no land to work with, and so he just shoves golf holes everywhere. But if you give him something that with lots of room, like, he tends to build pretty darn wide golf courses. But then it's like, yeah, like stuff like Maryland National strikes me. Like, that course isn't that hard as a whole, but it's a very penal golf course because there's lots of wide shots, but then there's also a handful of shots where you either hit target or you're refiring. So there's always going to be like a penal element to stuff that he designs, or it's just lots of out-of-play stuff. But as a whole, yeah, a fair amount of width to counter it. So I think it's gonna vary, a lot course to course. Ooh, that's not a good combination. So I can see why it would be overly penal. Alright, I think we're good there. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the planting later. I'll probably want to sprinkle more trees in here. But again, that's something I can do maybe off stream. Alright. Well, let's see. I don't need to do the tee boxes, but I can at least sort out where we're putting both playable tee sets on this. What's your take on Ing? I am kind of unfamiliar with him. I've never played anything he's made, so I really don't have a take on him. That's I mean, sort of a cop-out, but at least like an honest one. I just don't have enough information on him to really give any sort of knowledgeable take. Other than Fossil Trace looks kind of cool. I mean, maybe gimmicky, but again, I've never played it. I've only seen pictures of it, so like I can give a first impression. That's it. I don't have a take. I have a I have a first impression. That's all I have. I think front tees are good on this one. This green's gonna be hard to design. I think the whole concept's fine. Just with the, we're gonna have a number of uphill holes on this course. There's just a lot of elevation change. We'll have to check that out in just a sec. Like, plus this is a very uphill shot, but it's not so ridiculous that it breaks, I don't think there's any issues with, or I don't think I have any issues with that as a whole concept. Plus, the last couple courses have been kind of flat, so we need something a little wilder to balance that out. And I think this is exactly the ticket for that. All right, let me check out those bunkers that you posted. Oh yeah, that does look kind of hideous. I mean, I like my wavy bunkers, but that might be a bit much. Also, yeah, you'll have to forgive the sloppiness of that waterfall in the background. It's really just there as a placeholder. I know I want one there, but that's all I've done with it so far. Is just drop one in. I really like this green. I really like the way it looks off the tee. It's like, this is just a cool whole concept. Because maybe we can drop in some front tee boxes for 4, 5, and 6. I think that's all the work that really needs to be done there is planting, I guess, greens, but I don't know, we'll tinker. This one doesn't really need to be that much shorter. Suppose I can put a box over here, maybe? I don't know, or... Nah, straight line's fine, because I'm probably going to put some trees over to the left as well. I think 403 is a good number. This one's not that long, it doesn't need to be that much easier. And this is one I can basically just put the front tees, in the exact same spot. This one doesn't need shortened, it's already a short hole. Alright, so this one's 177. Green's a little harsh. I mean, it's not terrible, but we can make the front tees in the 160-ish range, probably. Also, we need to figure out some kind of walking path for this. Alright, let's see. We'll probably want to do something like that. Work its way down. Alright, camera, you're not helping me right now. Maybe I don't want to bring the path up that way. That works better as a ridge. Yeah, it should go up this way. I want to make it, like, visible without being distracting. At least have some thought put into how you'd navigate the course. It's not that necessary for something that's kind of fantasy-ish, but, you know, it's just a nice... It adds a sense of realism before. Yeah, this is the 2K one. Also, hello, Trail Decker. And Wild. So my inspiration for this one is like a course in South Korea called Whistling Rock. It's something I saw a long time ago. It's a little overdone in spots, but I think the concept's cool, and it kind of fit the theme for the month. So once the jungle course idea wasn't working, I realized that this plot was kind of perfect for that idea that, you know, like, I hadn't really, like, I put on the back burner ages and ages ago and then just kind of forgot that I was thinking of doing something like that. So this is essentially just realizing, oh, this would totally work for that idea, and it would, it fits, so we're giving it a go. I can't remember who... Or, like, I know who designed it. Or it was, you know, it's in the article. I just don't remember. Is that already at 1.8? Okay, no, it's not. Alright. What? Did I do surface? Oh, yeah, sorry, I do want surface 1, that's fine. Or do I want path? I don't know what kind of cart path I want here. Yes, the thing about adding paths and stuff is then you have to take the time to make them look right. Like, if you're not gonna... It's a little tedious, but sometimes it's worth it. So if you're not willing to put in the time to, you know, to do the little detail work and get the paths kind of smoothed out, then I just recommend that it's just like, you don't... Like, your... courses don't need paths, so I just leave them out if you don't want to do them. Oh, the beta, not the... Okay, I'm trying to design and follow chat is slightly difficult at times. I'll have to sprinkle some planting and stuff in there. Also, I could bury some trees and brown that texture out a little bit to make it appear more rocky, which is not a bad idea. I also need to be careful about my planting, because if I'm gonna do kind of like, if I want to have a set of bushes for kind of the manicured garden parts and for the more rustic, rugged, mountainy parts, then I'm gonna use up a lot of memory meter, a lot of individual objects. And I want to do, like, again, the real life course that this is inspired by has a bunch of, like, weird modern art orbs everywhere not everywhere, but, you know, in a number of places around the plot. So, so we want to do some weird modern art stuff. You know, not orbs, but just artsy things, because that just seems like a fun, goofy idea to sprinkle into this course. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and this area is gonna be dropped. We don't need that ridge up too high. Oh yeah, Wingspread Prairie is great at that. I guess technically yellow grass as well. It's not quite like wide open prairie, but it's pretty close. Alright. Sprinkle some trees in over here. Also, if you guys have stuff that you particularly want or don't want to see on stream, let me know. I'm happy to kind of cater what parts of this project I air on stream to fit what folks want to see. I think I have a generally good idea of what the most interesting parts of design are, but it's just kind of a guess, and like what people would actually want to see come together. For example, I don't think anyone really needs to watch me drop in and flatten, 18 sets of tee boxes, but maybe it's good to do one set of those on stream type thing, just to for if folks are just following along that are newer, just as a kind of a quick example of a easy way to do that. Exactly. It's not a Fazio design, but it's very Fazio-esque in terms of style. And while it's a little overdone in some spots, I think it's a really cool look. And as a whole, I would love, I think it fits my personal style as well. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and grab some of these guys. Copy. We're gonna... That just looks cool. Yeah, I think, and that's what I tend to like to... Oh, yep, no worries. Have a good one, and thanks for tuning in. To me, I think the... like, the technical finishing parts of the process are... There is some reason to stream that. Like, it's good for... I think from a rookie kind of perspective... to get some of the, or to get some visibility into how and why people do things, like tool-wise on a course, but like once you get the basics of that, you don't really need it's like once you know how to do splines and bunkers and stuff for the most part, you don't need constant refreshers on it, and it's just it just gets repetitive, and it's not hugely necessary. But the idea portions of it and just thinking your way through how you want to lay stuff out, that's a lot more in depth and I think both more interesting and both more useful in kind of larger doses. So that's always what I try to feature, is the whole ideas coming together. Now, I'm a little short on that in this series because Hey, Viking, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream, everybody. We're doing some work on a 2K project. So the downside of this particular series, I think, is going to be that a lot of that idea work is already done. Like there's a significant amount of whole concepts that were already laid in from the jungle version of this project. But I can kind of talk people through what I did and why, especially as I go and redesign some of them. But it'll definitely be missing a little bit of that this time around. But we will do the best we can. That being said, it's a lot of the stuff on this course so far is just me creating. I knew I wanted a big mountainy plot, and figured like a water feature in the middle was a good dramatic way, or good dramatic thing to route a course around. So I flattened the plot out, and then just took like a raised flattened brush, made a bunch of mountains around the outside, dropped the middle in to create a lake, and then kind of routed essentially where I thought holes would exist, or like what the kind of plot or what interesting hole locations the plot offered. Tried to hit all of those and then route stuff to hit as many of those as possible. On a links course, what's the best way to close in the plot? I mean, trees are fine. As in, I think a good rule of thumb for me is, especially if it's like a true Oceanside links course, half of it's already taken care of, and the other half, usually just like hills or even like a little town, is a great way to kind of wall off the other side of it. Trees are a way to do it as well. It doesn't necessarily feel as linksy, but I mean, trees exist off the side of links courses all the time. All right, we'll give the 4, 5, and 4, 5, and 6 stretch a play. Actually, I'll just do it from the back tees. It's fine. Not that much has changed, but actually, yeah, I should play test the front tees at some point, but I don't need to do it now either. Shoreditch is just a great reference for a lot of things. So I do like kind of the half bowl idea for this green. I'm gonna need to come up with some better contouring internal to this one though. But there aren't any big inherent contours to this green based on its location. So we can wait until later to do the last detail bits of that. I really do like this hole. It's just framed well. It's a cool concept. It's a little goofy, but we want to do some kind of more wild, goofy concepts on this course. It's the perfect project to get a little silly, and I want to get outside of my comfort zone a little bit. I want to do some weirder, quirkier stuff on this. Yes, that is the downside. Is Maddie's inflated ego. I really do like this one. Now that we've got some planting in here, this whole concept. I mean, it's not a really complicated whole concept. It's just, hey, there's this ridge here that, there's a really interesting kind of islandy green on it. But it really just sits nicely on its spot. I think that's all you really need for a decent par 3 is just, hey, here's a shot that looks really cool and you're really excited to hit it. Oh, speaking of boxes, I'm gonna need to... I could probably... we need a front tee box. So 166 is silly for a front box. Again, do I really desperately need, front boxes that make tons of logical sense? Nah. But I like to have them. It just adds to that sense of realism to it. So, although the land movement is just not going to work for that. Yeah, but like for a digital course where there's no real golfers playing it, and the people who, the people who are playing it are digital golfers, and the shortest carry distance that you're going to conceivably have with driver is 270. Now, you can have wind and stuff that'll affect it, but so you really don't want to present the player with any 270-yard forced carries off the tee. Or at least none that you can't avoid. Like 240 to 250 is probably the absolute most that you want to require off of a tee shot in order to keep the ball in play. Hey TJ, how's it going? So there really is no... there's no necessary point to having front tee boxes that work of oh, it's only 120 yards. I don't have to design around players that hit the ball, like beginner golfers where you're playing around about 150 yards of carry or whatever. You don't have to do that to build a successful course in this game, but I don't know. I like doing that. I feel like it gives that sense of realism if you're approaching your course from how would an average golfer play it. That being said, this is definitely going to be more on the fantasy side of stuff that I've done. So yeah, it's a consideration where it fits, but I'm also not going to let that particular thing be a deal breaker if I really love a whole concept. And it's completely up to you as a designer to kind of evaluate what sort of stuff that you like and what sort of stuff you want to design around, and then how much weight to give that stuff. Because I like building courses that feel realistic and feel like something I could go play, but naturally, so all my stuff that gets featured on tour tends to be on CC, because with that sort of design inspiration and what do you want to call it? Why am I blanking on the word? Kind of priorities, that's the word I'm looking for. It's inherently going to create a little bit of an easier course. But on the flip side, there are people that just like making stuff punishingly hard, and they're completely designing around like building a test for the game and not remotely worrying about how it would play in real life, and that's a completely legitimate way to design as well. I am too. I know my stuff's featured on tour pretty regularly, but it's been ages since I've actually gotten to play one of them, so I'm definitely looking forward to playing one of my own courses. Just because I don't know, I can't get that mad at my own course. When I'm playing it. Obviously I can still play bad, and I usually do. Like, I usually miss the cut when I play my own stuff. Weirdly, but at the very least I know how it plays, and it's a little bit more of a relaxing experience for me. I really like the way this one turned out. Let's do a quick save. I think I'm gonna have to make this a screen or a thumbnail for, if not this episode, a future episode. I'll probably do some touch-ups before I do that, though. This hole's pretty close to being done, but I can still dress it up a little bit before before it's screenshot ready, I suppose. And we'll draw, we want a little bit more light rough, or heavy rough zone around this hole. Actually, no, that's not a good spline. Whatever, we'll figure that out later. Thank you, sir. Yes, we're going hard into the bunker visuals on this one, and then we're getting all sorts of little goofy artsy things off to the course, like little we'll have some little gardens around the plot, doing like silly art installation things. Like, it's not a functional sundial because it doesn't work like a clock face, but I mainly wanted to see if I could do it, so I ended up building a pseudo sundial in the game just because. That being said, you can build a working sundial. I just, because the shadows work, but I just, I didn't really feel like doing modifying it to make it functional. It's just there to look goofy and be an interesting side thing. So, and then I think I had a couple other little art idea things of like just weird metal sculpture things. I don't know. We'll tinker with those ideas. Just, it's a cool, silly side project of making little goofy side things on this course that I'm kind of excited for, just because it's different. Alright, maybe that's a better spline. Yep, I think that is. Cool. Oh, I do want a little bit more in front. Oof. Perfect. Alright. Okay, so I think 6 is done. This one, it helps that this one had a pretty much finished green already. I will definitely go back and revisit that a little bit, but I think the general concept is there. Now this one, I could do a little green sculpting on this. I think we could do almost like a tiny little Biarritz green. Ooh, actually, I mean, if I'm gonna go Biarritz, I feel like you almost, like, especially for something that's actually, like, it'd be silly to make an actual Biarritz green on this because, or Biarritz, however you pronounce it. because you're just hitting wedges in here all of the time, you're never going to get any sort of roll, but I mean, it doesn't mean that I can't create a goofy little tier here that I could put a pin in, because that's fun. How much you love weird. Did you check out the new publish called Glute Ponds? Yes, I did. I haven't played it, but I've seen screenshots of it. The actual course doesn't look that bad. It looks like a solid course, but I can't help but kind of chuckle at a course that's named after butt sweat, essentially. It's kind of... It's definitely a little silly. Now, again, that says nothing about the quality of the course itself, and you know, it's probably gonna be decent. It's just, you know, it's silly. I can't help but giggle just a little bit. All right, throw another one of these guys. At the very least, like, if you're gonna have a bad course name, make it a memorable bad course name. Like, there's nothing worse than a bland bad course name. Those are the worst. Memorable bad course names are definitely a step above that. But, you know, also, you don't have to do bad names either, so... Alright, I guess we're not that deep into this episode. I can start tinkering around with 7 as well. Or if there's any part of the plot you guys want me to work on for a bit, I'm happy to do that. Again, it's weird doing a build where a lot of the stuff is already finished, and I'm just essentially going through and doing polishing passes on stuff that's there already. Alright, I loved this whole concept to start with, in kind of the jungle plot, but like this area was all trees and stuff. So so the width of this hole made sense. And it just feels a little overly narrow now with this new, more open theme. This one's, this is a February 2K course. So I think I need to, at the very least up here, I need to widen it. I can still pinch driver a little bit, both from a strategic standpoint. This hole's not that long, and you know, a layup there is 100% a playable shot. I think it's really not that hard. So it's not that I need to expand this because this landing area doesn't work. I need to expand it because it looks weird. Now that it's open and there's not a reason for it to be that pinched. That being said, I do still want to pinch it, but I think we might have to, maybe we sprinkle some bunkers on the inside of this, you know, kind of up in this hill some. That's not a bad idea. Plus, this is gonna, like, just this course concept is generally a bunker heavy concept. That's kind of the striking feature of the course. Or the kind of the combination of the setting and the kind of the bunkering style to it, I think, is the feature of or the primary feature of both the real life inspiration for this and the the inspiration for this course and this project itself. Sorry if I'm kind of stuttery at times. Both designing and talking at the same time is not always the easiest thing. Especially if you're just not inherently a particularly great public speaker. Which I do okay, but it's not something that comes naturally to me, so... It requires a little bit too much brain power sometimes to both make creative decisions on the fly and also talk about stuff. So either I forget, sometimes I'll forget what I'm doing and start staring at stuff, or if the design portion of it is going well, then I just lose track of what I'm saying. And I don't feel like putting in the massive amount of like time and effort it would take to do a more edited version of this. Just because it already, I'm already putting the time into building this, and deciding what to edit and how to, like, if I need to do voiceovers or stuff like that is a lot. I don't need to, especially for the kind of demand that these videos are going to have, it's just not worth the insane amount of effort that something like that would take. So you guys, or so for this series, we're just, essentially just dumping live streams on YouTube. And you guys will get the, live, unfiltered thoughts, or lack thereof sometimes. I don't know. It is what it is. In a lot of ways, that's I don't mind like watching those from like a viewer perspective, and as a creator, I'm okay with that. The production value of these is not the selling point of it. Hopefully, it's a little bit of the like interest in the actual project itself, and or just wanting something relaxing to put on, or just following, kind of trying to absorb kind of design technique, that sort of stuff. Not that I am the end-all be-all of course design. There are plenty of folks that are way better at this than I am, but I think I can safely consider myself kind of a expert's the wrong word, but I don't know, veteran presence in the design community. I've been around the block enough times to kind of know how the sausage is made, so to speak. How to work your way around the tools, that sort of stuff. Basic, like, general whole design concepts, things like that. You'll get a little bit of everything here. What win did I get? Oh, or is this, oh, sorry, this is a conversation that is a side conversation. Yeah, again, talking and designing and following chat is occasionally kind of hard. Yeah, no worries, I gotcha. I caught on. It just took me longer than maybe it should. Again, there's like a sweet spot for designing with an audience. So you want, I guess it definitely varies too, depending on if it's just a random design stream, or if I want to, like in this case, say make a video out of it, and publish the. Make a series out of the project you're working on. So it requires, I think, a little bit more again, effort's the wrong word, but focus, attention on the project when you're doing it that way. But if I'm just streaming for a hey, I'm designing, come and hang out, then I can goof around and follow along with chat, or just ignore chat, and or at the very least, like, or I can follow along with chat and just not talk that much. Oh, 100%. I'm happy to give it a play. We're gonna get into all sorts of stuff in the in the after party for this episode. It'll be fun. Because we've got all evening. I'm happy to do more streaming, but I also just figure somewhere in that hour to 2 hours is a good range for these episodes. And realistically, that's probably a pretty decent design session on a single course. Just to avoid burnout. Yeah, I don't want to do too much all at once. We have time on this, and it's just hop in, put a couple ideas down, and then, maybe revisit them with a fresh mind. You always want to look at everything at least, like, twice. Yeah, that back bunker needs some work, but I like the location for it, and I think it works as a spot. Also, I did so many spline points on this, but I want to widen this up. We get to just go move all the spline points. But anyway, yeah, so back to what I was yammering about. A good hour to 2 hours is a good design session. So I've got all evening to stream. We'll keep the stream going, but as far as this particular project, I'm happy to call it here shortly. Plus, again, we can give Trail Decker's course a little bit of a friendly roast. I like the front bunker. I don't like the back bunker, but I don't know. We can also tinker with ideas on that off stream. Yeah, it's you never want to be afraid to delete and redo stuff that you don't like. Even like more veteran designers, like, we don't get everything right the first try either. There's a lot of just trial and error to some of the stuff of, nah, I don't like that, and then you just keep redoing it until you find something that you do like. There's nothing wrong with that. Within reason. Alright. Now this is one I think I'm gonna... I love this whole concept. I think I'm gonna have to... Like, I like the green site. I don't know if I need all of that runoff. So we're gonna have to... I don't know. We can revisit where we want, or what we want on that green. Of course, there's not a ton of runoff, and this isn't a large green, so I could just expand the, shrink that fairway area down and just expand the green, and that works just fine too. I think that's not bad. You took out the shared fairways from when this is in Delta? Correct. This one's a lot more conventional in terms of construction. It's not gonna be kind of acres of fairway and interconnected in that way. I think, and that was part of what was making it hard for me to figure out how I was gonna finish it. Was just a lot of weird ideas crammed into that one, and I think like the plot and the whole concepts on here are kind of out there and quirky enough already. So just going back to some more kind of conventional construction techniques, I think is definitely helping my ability to visualize how I'm gonna do it. like I can do one or two things outside the norm on a course, but when I try and do several of them, it just starts to get confusing, and it's a bit much to kind of. That's right. This is going inward, so I don't need to worry about the actual spline path that much, because this will all be under the green. I'll just go ahead and delete this and redo the entire spline. Easy enough. Do a stream? You mean as in like a water stream? I mean, I'll have to make a little bit of a stream at some point if I want like this mountain waterfall thing to roll through 8. That's gonna be a big undertaking. That might be a stream in and of itself, because that's going to be a lot of work, and also I don't think I've done anything like that on stream, so I don't know if it'll be the next stream per se, but it will be a stream. I promise we will do a waterfall stream for this project. Also, I'm gonna have to refresh on how to actually do those well, because it's been so long. I kind of don't remember how to make good waterfalls. So, also it's in an awkward spot, so there is also that. All right. I think all this one really needs now is, I need to redo this bunker here, because that just doesn't work. I need some forward tees. Yeah, the green needs some work. I don't mind, although I guess all of my raised greens on this course so far are kind of like punchable greens, as they sit into the hills and stuff that they exist on. And they're both wedges, so it's almost like the bowl portion of the green is not really needed. I think bowl greens tend to work a little bit better on, longer shots where you're rolling it in. Because it's essentially just a catch fence. An interesting catch fence for approach shots. You can do kind of a little swale ridge in it. That's probably not a bad idea for this green. Yeah, so yeah, I'm honestly a little surprised at how quickly this is coming along. Partly due to a lot of the ideas being there already, and then it just comes down to needing to do the finishing touches, which is probably a mostly off-stream thing. But we'll see. It's this project's been a little weird so far, so I really don't know how and what I'm gonna to show on stream per se. I want to get as much of this project documented as possible, but like we're a little too far, resetting midway through and completely changing it means that it's like I don't want to publish any of the old stuff, because a lot of the concepts don't work or don't apply still. But some of them do, and then some of them have been modified. It's just a weird mess. So it's we don't get to do document the entire design from start to finish, but we can at least get as close as we can. I feel like the re-theme is a good start point. Duck, are you assuming you're talking about this one? Or is this a unrelated chat conversation that I'm missing? Plus, it's like really none of the whole concepts in this. Gotcha. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're relatively standard kind of Madoff style bunkers. They're a little bit more elaborate and sprawling, but I don't like. It's not like far and away different from stuff I've done previously. I feel like I've done bunkers in a pretty similar style. Yeah, they're scaled up a little bit. I do. Again, you don't get the full visual effect of it as a lefty because you can't see it. You block all the view. But I just like the way this hole looks. This is a cool little hole. I could probably dial the green up just a little bit too. Again, none of the whole concepts here are crazy. The plot itself is pretty wild, and we can let that do a lot of the kind of the talking for us. We don't need to do anything really elaborate, especially with like the cliffside holes and things. Like those are already pretty defined on how they're gonna work. So it's just, you know, riding along with what it's already doing. And it's only with the handful of like the corners of the plots that aren't on this big ravine that, you know, you want to get a little fancier with the whole concepts. Like 4 is a great example of one that I could jazz up a little bit. I can probably add like some rolling contours and things to it. I like just having a general, like, you know, straight-ish uphill hole. It works. I can maybe make it a touch longer. I don't know, just so the approach shot has a little bit more teeth to it. I think I need to redo this green. I don't mind the size and shape of it, but the contours are kind of boring. And otherwise, this isn't a hole that has a whole lot going on, so that's a great spot for kind of a statement green. Like, it's not distracting from anything. The green can be the highlight of that hole. Also, I know it's a silly amount of framing on this hole, but I just like the way this one's laid out. It's a little bit of a leftover from when it was a jungle course, and a lot of the tee shots were going to have kind of trees infringing on them a little bit. And then it's just, I think, we have a lot of small greens on this course, and I'm okay with that thematically. I think that fits. This doesn't feel like a course that demands giant sprawling greens. Man, I am so excited to play this thing. There sounds like there's going to be some hot takes. And again, 6 is... Again, it's another one where just the site speaks for itself. Because really all I did is I just dropped 2 bunkers in front and then just built a little green that follows the contours, and I love this hole. There's just, you don't... If you have a great spot, you don't need to do a lot with it. You don't need to get fancy. It's just, okay, how do I... But you also want to just make sure that you kind of accentuate what you have there. And I think this does that perfectly. It looks really nice. Partially on purpose, partially just happy accident. It's, you know, it's all good. And then, yep, and then we're right back to where we were on 7. I think that's, yeah, this is a good start. I'll probably off-stream go and polish up the first 7 a little bit. Admittedly, you know, we're 7 holes in and we're only on episode 2 of this series, but on the flip side, these were the ones that were the most finished from the old version. So I think everything from here on out is a very rough hole concept that does not have a lot of polish, or is something that will require a lot of renovation. Like 8 is something I'm gonna redo a lot on, so like, we will essentially be building an entirely new golf hole on 8, just with a similar concept. Yeah, those trees are gonna be gone. I like the green, like the tiny perched green on the cliff. That's a little terrifying to hit at because it's a reachable par 5. I like that concept, but the tree doesn't fit the style anymore. I think we can have a little bunker here. We are going to have waterfalls. No, they're not going to be floating. They're very, very placeholder. I dropped them in because I wanted to see where else from the course you could see them. Actually, 9 might not need that much work. I forgot that I shifted the bunker style midway through this the first time through, so the last couple holes that have bunkering are pretty close to the new style already. Again, the whole concept works, but it doesn't pop as much as it could for a drivable 4 on a cliff. This is another green site I like. Again, this is a lot more of a rugged hole that fit that kind of jungle theme a little bit more. I think it'll still work just fine with the new idea, because it's still going to be rugged in spots, so I can get away with the rugged spots around a golf hole. It doesn't have to be all very polished and clean. Oh, yeah, the putting's not good. I think this is the last of, like, the really polished ones. Yes, and then we have really rough concepts. Like, this one's gonna be a short, funky 4, where it's kind of drivable. I don't know if I want to put trees in the way so that you can't drive it. The whole goal is to, like, maybe work it out as far as you can here by flirting with the trees on the corner. And I want some reversed camber to it as well, just to make this shot a weird layup, but a kind of a difficult weird layup. But it definitely needs to be toned down a little bit. There's a lot of tinkering I'm gonna have to do on this hole. And then having kind of a blindish green with that. I think this central mound in the middle, and maybe having it visible in the corners, stuff like that. This one's gonna be quirky, properly quirky, and it's gonna need some massaging, but yeah, exactly. There'll be tree plays for that corner. It's just a question of how much I want to offer. This one I'm not sure on, but it seems like a pretty standard, like, dramatic long 3 with a forced carry, and you just play out to the short and right to play safe. And that's about it. Like, there's some really roughed in concepts on the back, but we'll, nothing remotely finished. Other than 17. 17's kind of finished. Needs some redoing and polish, but the general concept, I think, is there. Where it's just, it sits on the low side of this cliff with the falls on 8 in the background. I think this one's going to be awesome. And then 18's gonna have to be like the uphill closer to the clubhouse thing. Alright, well, I mean, we've I can't remember if I had given a course tour in the last one, but it's fine. We've gotten the course, like the basic course tour out of the way, and we can go in and start polishing up more concepts as we go. But I think that is a perfect place to stop for this episode. I can pause the music. For those of you in chat, we will keep on going. We'll do a little more streaming. For those of you watching this on playback or on YouTube, thank you for following along, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, have a good one.